Hi there everybody, my name is Kate and welcome to my channel Trinergy Awakens Naturally, and as promised, Mom Hugs distributed here. Tell you what happened today. I was out walking my dog and having a good day doing my thing, and I got home all of a sudden and I felt very teary, I felt very sad, I felt a sudden desire that I want a mom hug. I need a hug, and I don't have that available to me, unfortunately. And so as I sat with that, like, is this even my feeling? Is this even me? Does this belong to me? And I realized that, of course, if it belongs to somebody out in the world, it belongs to me. We are one. And I can definitely identify with many a day, such as today, when I'd really like to have a mom hug, that maternal figure, and I don't have one. And so I've gotten to where what I like to do during those periods of needing reassurance for myself is, okay, well, there isn't anybody here who's going to take that job, Kate, so what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to provide my own mom hug and then reach out to somebody else, because if I'm experiencing that, someone else is experiencing that too. Have you been told that you're wrong? Have you been told that you're bad? Have you been told that you should be ashamed of yourself and that was terrible? Do you feel like I just need a safe space. I just need a soft place to land for a second, to level out, cry a little, and not be poked in my eyeball, because I am. I just want to be seen as someone who has needs and is tough most of the time, but right at the moment, I'm feeling a little bit small and I don't want to be smushed while I'm in that state. So if that's you, if you're feeling like, please accept my hug and accept my knowing that I am a mom and I do know what it is to comfort a child and to be comforted as well. I've been in lots of situations where I was very vulnerable and needing, a lot of physical help with medical illnesses and things, and that's a tough place to be in when we're relying on somebody else and we just feel so fragile and so small and so incapable sometimes. And it has nothing to do with what kind of baddie we are in our daily life. Usually, if we have nowhere to go with that sense of, yeah, but today's not one of those days, I'm just having one of those minutes can extend into hours, and then they can extend into days, weeks, and months, and before we know it, we're just completely disempowered, and we don't believe that we have a purpose, we don't believe that we have a right to be happy, and we don't believe that we have a right to do anything except take on the shame and guilt, which is the game, that other people are foisting upon us, or that we're foisting upon ourselves. Because let's face it, no matter what kind of a stellar human being I am today, or think I am today, or might be today, I have made mistakes in the past that, I sure wish I hadn't done that. I don't want to have to admit that that was me. I just want to pretend like, I didn't do that. And truthfully, that's because most of us, when we experience that, I know for me, when I experienced that, there was very little safety in being able to take that somewhere where that was going to be regarded with the respect necessary to know that there's not one person on this planet that can stand in any kind of self-righteous position, believing that they know not of what I speak, that I boo-booed, you boo-booed. Some of them are egregious. I mean, I'm not talking about the quality or the nature of the infraction. I'm just saying every single one of us goes out of balance and makes bad decisions sometimes. They just are. Sometimes, we choose to do things that hurt other people deliberately because we're angry, we're hurt, we're sad, we're afraid, and we can't get a mom hug or a dad hug or a person hug that feels comfortable. And then, sometimes we really don't understand that somebody's doing that to us, that they're bullying us or something, because we're just kind of in that state of existing. And if we had just a minute, just a second sometimes to just have safety, it allows the clarity to sit in. especially when we have physical contact with someone and really feel that sense of, okay, I'm good. It's when that gets used against us later that it kind of takes away that feeling of, yeah, this is really great. I feel so at home. I've got my battle buddy. I'm good to go. You know, I can power through anything. I can do it all. Well, when that gets thrown back in our face later, it makes it really difficult to believe that that was ever true to begin with. And can I really trust you in the future? And do I really want to even go there and try? Because it might hurt my feelings worse next time. Sometimes we don't even realize we're not consciously moving through those evolutions of thought, but we find ourselves kind of withdrawing, and next thing we know, our life is kind of shrunk down sometimes for, like I said, minutes at a time, days, hours, whatever length of time it is, that we feel that sense of separation from home and safety, that sense of separation from, I am a beautiful, glorious human being who has done some very ugly, nasty stuff. It's true. And there's nobody on the planet that's any better, I promise you. And there's also nobody that's any worse. So we have all done better and worse behavior. And yeah, there's some baddies on the planet that are really, really, really hopping around and doing some horrible stuff. This isn't an evaluation of the quality or the nature of just how awful infractions are. It's simply to say that there's no one in your world, I can promise you, there just isn't. There's no one in your world or anyone else's that can really stand around in piety and say, well, I would never do that. Well, that may be so. What else have you done that you're not talking about? Because people that feel safe, that feel completely loved and feel at home and have that safe place to fall and process those feelings of shame and guilt and and disappointment with oneself or disappointment with someone else. People that are really well balanced and know how to deal with that emotion without throwing it forward or stuffing it down, or allowing it to sit in our energetic body weird, they don't really have a need to declare the one-upmanship. And so if you need a mom hug, I don't know you, and yet I'm a mom. I know what I like whenever I'm feeling like a child, or I'm feeling like the smallest part of me just can't do this, not right now. When I have to find a way to do that without actually having a physical person, the best way that I know how to turn that around quickly is to offer that reassurance to myself and say, yeah, you screwed up. You made a big old giant mess of that. That was bad. And we'll work on fixing all of that later, because this isn't about whether you are good or bad. This isn't about whether you deserve to have good quality of life or not. This is about that behavior is not compatible with being treated with dignity and respect, because it's not offering dignity and respect. And when we can really get to that point where this is not a declaration of whether you deserve anything or whether you have value, you do. You absolutely do. You have all the value that every other single person on this planet does, and it's significant. There's none of us that's expendable. There's none of us that's a waste. There's none of us that's too far gone. We have a lot of people that will be lost because they think they're too far gone, or they won't even pay attention. They're not awake. They're not conscious. They're not, whatever word you want to use, insert there. Doesn't matter. Find the people that are willing to look beyond their worst mistakes, beyond their worst decisions, beyond their worst behaviors, and align with them, because they'll be the people that are also willing to get honest and not punish back and forth about, well, I can't believe you did that. I would never do that. And it may be true that I would have never done that. However, I'm gonna get you over here. In another way, it's just a twisting around of a very low and dense energy field that is going extinct. It's moving out. We're moving up, and as that field of really loving acceptance and kindness and forgiveness, and not just tolerance. This isn't about just tolerance. This is about getting inside and really riding around and pulling out, digging out the what is intolerant in me that I feel the need to shut somebody else out or be superior to them. And what is it in me that believes that I don't deserve to have a beautiful, abundant life, that I might be knocked off my square for a minute hearing someone and believing that they have the authority to tell me about myself. And then remember that at the same time, what is it in me that would want me to tell another person about themselves? Sometimes we do need to communicate some very specific things about our boundaries. However, most of the time, it's really about recognizing what is really true about a situation and then taking that in and saying, this isn't about me, when it's truly not about me. If I know it's not about me and I have zero emotion about it, then it probably isn't about me. If I say, it's not about me, I just want a hug, there's something in there. There's something valuable to learn from that. And it's when we take out that, shame on you. A lot of us did not get parents and mentors and guides, teachers, and coaches that were terribly kind. We're learning a new paradigm. Human beings are doing this for the first time in a long time, if we've ever done this before, which all things are possible. We've had some better times on earth energetically, and we're still moving up out of all of it regardless, because that's the way of this motion, and the ultimate goal of the planet is to keep ascending and ascending and ascending to a higher consciousness where we embrace that Age of Aquarius understanding 1111. And we really truly give each other the breathing room to say, yeah, that was a mess, and it's going to take me a minute to debrief and not want to just, take a running start and kick you or something. I have to be honest if that's where I am. But the more that we can do that and really ease up off each other's necks and just allow the fact that there are tons of people everywhere you look who are desperately hungry to make connection, and they just simply don't know how. And they're complete clods about it. We're clumsy, we're awkward, we don't really know how to ask for what we need because we've been punished in the past for having basic needs, much less when we go bananas with our needs unmet that it is not resolved yet, and it's angry and acting out. The more we are unresolved, the more we act out, and the less we're likely to get a mom hug that's genuine, if at all, because mom doesn't want to hear about it most of the time, or dad or teacher, whomever. We can't give hood passes for bad behavior, it's true. However, we certainly can give some leniency and some grace period on people that are just needing a minute to, please stop for a second and take a moment to really genuinely accept the fact that I understand. I do understand, and I'm offering you as warm and kind and compassionate a hug as a mom possibly could, and remind you, Hondo wants to remind you too, that you are a beautiful, wonderful, glorious creature. I don't care what you've done. I know you've done something terrible. You know you've done something terrible. If we needed to review it for some reason, would we need to, or would you need to review that at your house and get okay with it to the point that it wouldn't matter what my reaction was? Well, it's easier to get there when we have people we can trust as we're navigating that very slippery slope. So if you cannot find a person in your world yet that's able to do that, be that as much as you can to yourself, long before you think about giving that to someone else. Be that for yourself, because you deserve that. You deserve to be out of fear, out of pain, out of hurt, regret, guilt, shame, all that ugly stuff. You deserve to be out of it, and you deserve to be out of it now. However, it's not a freebie. We don't just get there because. We do have to get honest and have an expectation that I'm being honest with you and laying it on the table, and I'm not going to allow you to stab me because I made a very ignorant choice or comment, or my behavior was acting out of my pain. I'm sorry. If we're at that point and we're dealing with people that really can't hear that, tolerate it or respect it, it's best to go back into our own little world right here and say, that was the blindness and ignorance of another and has nothing to do with me. So, mom hug, engage, consider yourself kissed on your little third eye here, and really wishing you a beautiful day, whatever part of the day it is, where you are, and going forward knowing that you're loved You're absolutely loved. Get to that point where you can feel that no matter who's in front of you, in back of you, around you, in the past, the present, or the future, that constant now moment of acceptance and safe place to fall stays intact. Take care. Mwah.